Saturday morning began with 32 teams still in the hunt for the national championship of the NCAA Division II women's basketball. As we move into Saturday night, that number has dwindled down to around 24. And this evening, the Lander Bearcats and the Carson-Newman Eagles will battle it out to see who stays alive in the hunt for the title. Good evening, everybody, from Holt Fieldhouse at Carson-Newman University in Jefferson City, Tennessee. This is the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Rickson Lane joining you courtside here at Carson-Newman. So glad to have you join us for tonight, the second round of the NCAA tournament, the semifinals of the NCAA Southeast Regional. Lander, the 4 seed in the field, against top-seeded and 6th-ranked Carson-Newman, the hosts here in this NCAA Southeast Regional. The Bearcats come into this game after they rolled over 5th-seeded Limestone last night, 84-53 the final score. The Eagles, they had their hands full with 8th-seeded Anderson. The Trojans put a scare in Carson-Newman before bowing out to the top seed by a score of 70-62. That was the final in the 1-8 matchup. So we move on tonight, the 1-4 contest. North Georgia, the 3 seed, has already punched their ticket to the NCAA Southeast Regional Championship on a buzzer beater over 2nd-seeded Wingate. They need an opponent. Will it be the top-seeded Eagles? Will it be the 4th-seeded Bearcats? We will find out in just about 30 seconds as these two teams make their way to their respective benches. As we're looking out and you're listening here on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network, looking straight across the way as Carson-Newman's bench is to our left, Lander's bench is to our right. We're just about 10 feet to the left of the midcourt line. Stands across from us, behind us, and to the right of us on the baseline as the Eagles lined up for the national anthem, but we'll have no anthem for this game. Second game of the day here at the Southeast Regional. We're going to get right into basketball. Lander and Carson-Newman, these two teams met back on November the 11th, the 3rd game of the season for the Eagles, the 2nd game of the year for the Bearcats. It was Lander that fell 90-87 when these two teams met on a neutral site back in early November. A lot has changed since then. Lander was ranked 15th in the country during that game. The Eagles have risen up to number 6 in the country. Lander no longer in the national polls, although the national polls a mere formality at this point. It is all about who is alive in the bracket, and the Bearcats and Eagles trying to extend their stay here at the NCAA tournament. We'll give you the starters now as Carson-Newman, the home team, wearing the home whites. They'll go with a lineup of Kayla Marisites, a sophomore guard from Elizabethton, Tennessee. Number 2 is Brianna Smith, a junior guard from Nashville, Tennessee. Number 21, Harris Price, a junior guard from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The post presences are number 32, Mika Wester, a junior forward from Newport, Tennessee. And number 40 is Jessica Simmerly, a senior forward from Talbot, Tennessee. Meanwhile, for the Lander Bearcats, Crystal Williams, a junior guard from Riverdale, Georgia, in the backcourt. She's joined by Destiny Langford, number 15, a sophomore from Lexington, South Carolina. Number 20 is sophomore guard Jessica Harris. She hails from Sumter, South Carolina. Number 23, junior guard Chelsea Mitchell out of Laurel, Maryland. And the center for the Bearcats, senior Brashay Johnson, number 35, from Hopkins, South Carolina. As we are just about ready to get underway, Carson-Newman home white uniforms, dark blue lettering outlined in orange numbers trimmed in blue. They've got blue horizontal stripes, 4 of them down the side of the white shorts, orange and blue trim on the shoulders, Nike swoosh on the right-hand side of those uniforms. Carson-Newman across the front of the jerseys with the number in between. Lander, meanwhile, road blue uniforms, gold numbers and letters, gold striping on the side of the jerseys, gold stripe on the side of the shorts that wraps around to the back of the legs, and the gold Adidas insignia on the right side of the jerseys and the pants for the Lander Bearcats. As Kevin Pedersen and Mike Mincy shake hands, the 2 head coaches. Pedersen in his 13th season at Lander University, and Pedersen picking up his 350th career win last night in the blowout of Limestone. Mike Mincy, his 7th year at the helm of Carson-Newman, and he's got his best squad yet in this top-seeded Eagles team. Huddles break to our left and to our right, and we are just about to get underway here in Jefferson City. Johnson will tip for Lander, and she will go against Simerly for Carson-Newman. Officials in place, whistles blow. The second round of the NCAA tournament underway for your Bearcats, and Lander wins the tip as Johnson tipped it deep and Williams ran it down. Bearcats operating right to left as you're listening as Williams pounds the rock with the right hand. Harris cuts left beyond the arc, nearly lost her footing but gets the pass from Williams. Johnson flashes the high post, looking for help, directing traffic. Out to Langford on the left wing. Over to Mitchell now. She pumps just inside the arc. Gonna fire a shot, high off the back rim, no good. And the rebound tipped around. Mitchell got her own rebound, went up for the putback, couldn't get it. Another offensive board as it's tapped out to Harris. Fresh 30 for the Bearcats. 9:30 to go in the first quarter, and a pass tipped and intercepted, and the outlet pass ahead to Harris Price for the layup. It was tipped by Wester as Harris tried to work the entry to Brashay Johnson. So Carson-Newman comes out in a 2-2-1 full court press, but the Bearcats break it fairly easily as Harris is up the left wing. Harris trying to avoid a trap, bounces it to Williams at the top of the arc. 2-0 Carson-Newman, 9:05 to go first quarter. Into Johnson, it goes in the right block. Johnson working with contact, can't finish, but she'll go to the free throw line. And Brashay Johnson, opportunity to put Lander on the board. 1 minute into this one, the call will go against number 40, Jekka Simerly, senior out of Talbot, Tennessee. And now Johnson to the free throw line. Brashay Johnson, the all-leading scorer in Lander Bearcat history, and she swishes the first free throw attempt. Bearcats got to the free throw line 22, converted 17. 2, a minute into this second round matchup. Price weaving up the floor, sends it left side, works it back around the arc to Wester. Now Price on the right side, looking for help, hands it off behind her. This is Smith now. Smith saw a trap coming, sends it into the lane, jumper on the way, no good from Wester, and rebounded by Harris. Harris, and a lot of traffic, weaves her way through and over the timeline. Harris on the right wing, hands it back out to Langford. Langford, kick it left side. Williams thought about a three, pumped it, now is going to fire that three, off the back rim, no good. And Price runs down the rebound for Carson-Newman. Now Price wanted to go up-tempo as she brings it to the right side of the floor. Hand to Smith. Inside Wester. Back out to Price. Price had an open three. Instead works it back into Wester. Kick pass left side to Marisites. Marisites to Smith. Now Price on the right wing. 14 on the shot clock. Price around the screen. Fires a three and hits. There's Price off the screen from Smith. And she's got 5 early points as Lander trails 5-2. Williams trying to get over the timeline. It goes to Johnson, top of the arc. She pushes it right side to Harris. Jessica Harris dribbles with the left hand, now switches over to the right and bounces it to Langford on the right wing. Lob it into Johnson. Mitchell cutting, and she was fouled. Beautifully done by the Bearcats as they lobbed it to Johnson on the right block. She saw the double team and whipped it to a cutting Mitchell on the left block. She was fouled on her way to the rim, and Chelsea Mitchell will go to the free throw line. Mitchell, all-conference performer out of Laurel, Maryland, makes her first free throw. Five to 3 with 7:48 to go in the first quarter. Now 5-4 as Mitchell makes both her free throw attempts. Price will bring it down the far sideline, racing ahead of Williams. Mitchell hot on her tail. Over to Marisites. They whip it right side. Smith wants to fire a three from the wing. Back rim no good. And Williams climbs the ladder for the rebound. Pardon me, that was Langford. Now Langford wants to go 3-on-2. Langford dish to Johnson. Johnson misses the layup. Tries to get the offensive rebound. And out of bounds. Bearcats will have the ball. Johnson was double teamed and sandwiched and tried to kind of double clutch that layup and just hit it off the side of the rim. No good. Ball out of bounds to Lander. Harris sends it in high to Johnson. Johnson right of the free throw line. Handed to Mitchell. Mitchell left of the line now. Out it goes to Harris. Right side to Williams. Lob to Johnson, right block. Back to Williams. Pumps a three between her legs. Now backs out beyond the arc. Wants to go into Johnson again. Johnson triple team. Williams in the corner. Going to fire a three. Yes, indeed. Crystal Williams from the corner. And Lander has got their first lead of the night. 7-5 with 7:08 to go in quarter number 1. Price into the lane, barrels over Jessica Harris, an offensive foul on Harris Price. One of the most prolific point guards in the nation, Harris Price, a junior out of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. But she charged into Jessica Harris And the foul is called against Carson-Newman. That is their third of the quarter, and then Lander turns it over in the backcourt. Stolen by Smith. Smith, floater, good. Pick the pass away from Mitchell. Now Lander wants to push. Langford going to drive right side all the way to the rim for the layup. Bearcats wasted no time getting down the floor there. It's 9-7 with 6:45 to go in the first period. Two high-octane offenses going at it here at Holt Fieldhouse. It's a good crowd tonight, as you would expect. The hometown team is in action with a berth in the regional championship on the line. Price going to fire a long two, knocked it down. Bearcats left her open, and Price made them pay. It's 9-9. Now Williams up the floor. Williams stops, pops, buckets. Just inside the free throw line. Williams nothing but net. As Carson-Newman will go to the bench as Katie Stubblefield heads to the scorer's table. Price sends it left side to Simerly. Simerly's jumper up and good. Back and forth we go. It's 13-11 now. Pardon me, 11-11. My mistake. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Johnson sends it in the corner to Langford. Langford holds the ball for a moment as the Bearcats join her in the front court. Harris with the ball in her left hand. Dish it to Williams. Williams going to fire a long three. Right rim no good. Long rebound. And Johnson ran it down in the corner despite a nice box out there from Simerly. She just worked around her and got the loose ball for Lander. Fresh 30 for the Bearcats. 5:38 to play in the first quarter. We're all tied up at 11. Langford on the right side. Langford around the screen from Johnson. Stops, pull up in the lane. No good. Bite for the loose ball. Still fighting for it. Johnson able to save it. No, she did not. She stepped out of bounds in front of the Carson-Newman bench. So Stubblefield will check in for Carson-Newman as Simerly goes to the Eagle bench. I think we had a foul on the board against Lander that Bearcats did not pick up. Long inbound as they handed to Smith, had it stripped away from him momentarily. She gets it inside, and an easy layup for Wester. Eagles tossed it into the front court, and a couple of nice passes as they take a 13-11 lead. Bearcats quickly down the floor. Harrison in the corner, get a nice look. She's into the Williams. Williams short on the ball. Touch the opposite end down and put back. 13-13, halfway through the first quarter. We are even. Price up crosses over Harris. Nice down low, and a foul committed by Johnson. That's Stubblefield go to the free throw line on Price. Beautifully done to shake Harris into the lane and whip an over pass to Stubblefield, who was hit from behind by Johnson. We'll all take a breath as we go to immediate timeout. 13-13 our score with 4:52 to go in quarter number one. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. .452 to go in the first quarter. Lander and Carson-Newman, the 4 seed and the 1 seed in the Southeast Regional, all knotted up at 13-13. Rickson Lane joining you in the Bearcat Broadcasting Network as Katie Stubblefield clangs her first free throw off the side of the rim. 5 points for Williams for the Bearcats, 4 for Mitchell, 7 for Price, 2 apiece for Smith, Wester, and Simerly. As the free throw rolls around and in, and Carson-Newman's got a 14-13 lead. Pass up ahead to Harris from Williams. Now she gives it right back to Williams, top of the arc. Williams has already attempted 4 3-pointers in the game. She's 1 of 4. Langford off the screen, all the way to the rim. Beautifully done by Langford as she finishes with the right hand. Bearcats back on top, 15-14. Smith brings in the front court for Carson-Newman. Harris on her, trying to shade her to the right side as Smith side shuffles back over to the left. Now wants to go in the key, but Harris denies her. So she'll send it out top to Wester. Wester, guarded by Mitchell, crosses over left side, pull-up, jumper, floater, good. Wester, a contested bucket, but now Lander trying to beat the Eagles down the floor. Langford all the way to the rim, rolled it in. Destiny Langford beautifully done in traffic among the tall timber of Carson-Newman, and it's 17-16 as Wester gives it off to Mara Seitz. Mara Seitz on Langford. Seitz steps back, picks up her dribble, and now bounces it to Wester. Wester, guarded by Mitchell, left elbow, sends it out right side. 3-ball from Griffin, got it. Tori Griffin, sophomore guard out of Strawberry Plains, Tennessee, makes it a 19-17 ball game. Harris, give it to Johnson. Johnson beyond the arc, kicks it left side to Williams. Williams, extra pass to Langford on the left corner. Langford had a step, but instead kicks it back out to Williams, and she'll point the finger in the air and circle it around as they reset the offense. Langford with 11 to shoot, gives to Johnson at the free throw line. Johnson back out to Harris, 7 on the shot clock. Mitchell just inside the arc, right wing, got it, and 1 for Chelsea Mitchell. Knocked down the jumper and was fouled, and Mitchell will go to the free throw line with the score tied 19-19 with 3:19 to go in the first quarter. Kelsey Mara Seitz checking in for Carson-Newman, as is Harris Price, as Wester and Smith go to the bench, and Mitchell will go to the free throw line with 3:19 to play in the opening period. Free throw is good. 7 early points for Chelsea Mitchell, and it's 20-19 Bearcats. As Kelsey Mara Seitz picks up her dribble deep in the backcourt, looking for help. Gets it to Price. Price, pass it left side to Kayla Mara Seitz. Kayla Mara Seitz to the rim, lays it off the front of the iron, and Mitchell got the rebound. Good defense there from the Bearcats to not foul. Here comes Langford down the floor for Lander. Langford over to Williams on the right side. Williams wants to lob it into Johnson, and does. Johnson, one-on-one, looking for a move, and a call for a travel. She backed away in and put it off the glass and through the net, but they're going to wave off the basket, travel against Brashay Johnson. Lander up 20-19 with 2:54 to go in the first quarter. And then Carson-Newman throws it away on the inbound. Kayla Mara Seitz threw it high. Kelsey Mara Seitz couldn't handle it and dribbled it out of bounds. That is just the second turnover of the game for Carson-Newman. Then Lander gives it right back as Langford threw it into traffic over the head of Johnson. And it's Kayla Mara Seitz with the steal. Kicks it to Kelsey. Mara Seitz for 3. Rimmed out, no good. Ball tapped out to her. Mara Seitz going to attempt a jumper now. It's no good. And an offensive rebound by Stubblefield, and then she's fouled on the baseline. Call is on Brashay Johnson. Second foul against Johnson as Leah Pettit checks in for her, and Johnson grabs her by the hand and gives her a quick word before the senior steps off the floor. Pettit in, the junior out of Duluth, Georgia. And she tips the entry pass, and she's going to get called for a foul. Oh, my goodness. Ball was lobbed over her, and she leaped up and got a piece of it, but they're going to say that she pushed off. Not a ton there, to be honest, but the call does go against Pettit. And then Mitchell steals the inbound pass as they try to get it into Griffin. Mitchell read it beautifully. Twisting, acrobatic interception. She sends it out to Harris, top of the arc. Gets it right back. They want to go inside to Pettit. Pettit, turn around with the right hand. Friendly roll for Leah Pettit, and she's got her first bucket of the ball game. It's 22-19. Lander up 3. Here comes Harris Price down the floor. Sends it left side. Open shooter. This is Mara Seitz for 3. Got it. Kayla Mara Seitz in the corner. Bearcats cannot leave those shooters open as Mitchell inbounds it to Williams. Williams trying to dribble away from a trap. Gives it back to Mitchell. She sends it up the right side of the floor. Langford inside the arc. Jumper off the mark, no good. Rebound by Kelsey Mara Seitz. She brings it ahead for Carson-Newman. Doesn't have the numbers. Holds back. Gives it to Price. Price going to fire a 3. Rimmed out, no good. Mitchell got the rebound. That's what Lander needs. One and done on the defensive end. Langford bringing it ahead. Bearcats have numbers. 4 on 3. Harris is open in the corner. Langford finds her 3 ball. Good for Jessica Harris and Lander pushes the lead back out to 3, 25-22. Price going to go down the floor, and then Harris nearly stole it away from her, knocked it out of bounds. Oh, Price didn't see her coming, and Harris ran her down, knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with Carson-Newman. Michael Wester back in the ball game, replacing Kayla Marasites. Simerly back in for the Eagles as well. She checks in for Stubblefield. Williams goes to the bench for Lander. As the Bearcats send in Ariana Sanders, the junior from Pearland, Texas. Double dribble call against the Eagles in the backcourt. Turnover. Back to Lander with 1:31 to go in quarter number 1. It's 25-22. Bearcats up 3. Packed house here at Holt Fieldhouse for this NCAA second round matchup. Mitchell picks up her dribble at half court, gives it away to Langford on the right side. Langford out beyond the arc, faced up against Wester. Now gives it to Harris, gets it right back on the wing. Pettit sets the screen. She goes right side. Handoff to Pettit, and her lay-in won't go, but a foul will be called on number 4, Kelsey Marasites. A beautiful dish from Langford. Little underhanded handoff to Pettit, who was cutting into the lane off the screen. Her jumper hard off the back rim, but she drew the foul. So Leah Pettit to the free throw line. And her first free throw is up and good. Pettit averaging just 9 minutes per game and 3 points. But she's given Bearcats quality minutes here off the bench in this NCAA tournament. Chelsea Mitchell comes out, replaced by Tabitha Daly, the sophomore from Augusta. 26-22 as Pettit's second free throw way off the mark. Barely got the front of the rim. Lander up 4 with 1:10 to go here in quarter number 1. Ball off the hands of Smith. Turnover. Wester found her in the corner, and the ball just went through her hands. Possession back to Lander. 26-22 our score. 1:05 to go in the first quarter. Bearcats putting 3 players in the front court to try to bring some pressure out of the back court as Harris races over the timeline and now pounds the rock with the right hand. Behind her back to her left hand now as she bounces it over to Langford. Langford weaving to the top of the arc, trying to break down her defender. Had it stripped from her momentarily, but dishes it back out to Harris. Harris takes a look at the shot clock. 10 seconds to shoot. Harris gets a screen from Pettit. Gonna step up, straight away 3. Long rebound to Langford. Langford gonna step back, fire a 3. Airballed it. Sanders had it on the baseline and stepped out of bounds. Langford hurrying that shot, airballed. Sanders was there on the baseline, but just couldn't corral it. So 36 seconds to go in the quarter as the Eagles inbound it to Griffin. Griffin trapped, gives it back out to Wester. Wester long pass ahead to Smith. Smith in the corner, back out to Harris Price. 5-second difference between game and shot clock here. 22 seconds to go in the quarter. Price all the way to the rim. Air balls a floater. Offensive rebound. Put back will go for Simerly. It's 26-24. Lander can hold for the last shot here at 13 seconds. Harris weaving to the lane. Dishes to Pettit, who misses a wide open layup. And now here comes Price the other way with 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Price hands it off. And then Langford forces the jump ball, and Carson-Newman will maintain possession on Langford with an aggressive defensive play there. Eagle fans wanted a foul call, but all ball, says our official. 26-24. Eagles, 2.5 seconds to get a shot in. Bearcats got to find these shooters. They got 2 in the corners. They inbound it high. Smith gets it at half court, heaves it at the rim, out of bounds, and that'll do it for quarter number 1. Lander leads it 26-24 as we head to the second period. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. You want action? We've got action here in Jefferson City, Tennessee. 26-24, Lander leading Carson-Newman after 10 minutes of play here in the NCAA Southeast Regional second round matchup. Rickson Lane with you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Mitchell, jumper left side, no good. Long rebound, corralled by Simerly for the Eagles. Jumper on the way in the other end from Western, no good, but offensive rebound for Carson-Newman as that was Kayla Marisites who went and got it. Marisites sends it left side, Harris Price, she's open for three, line drive, no good, and Langford climbs up to get the rebound. Long pass ahead to Harris, she misses a layup. Daly with the rebound, it won't go, and another off defensive board for Carson-Newman. Our Landers missed two layups now. Ball sent out to Marisites left wing, gives it back to Price. Langford closes out on her. They find Wester open for a jumper. Check it, that was Simerly, and it's 26-26. Pardon me, an early bucket here for Carson-Newman to open the second quarter. Harris stutter step at the free throw line, gives it to Daly. Daly goes under the baseline, gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell and one! Chelsea Mitchell up and under, high off the glass, and she was fouled. Oh, Mitchell, a beautiful finish under the hoop. She's got 9 points. That leads all scorers at the moment. As Harris comes out, Williams is in for Lander. Stubblefield in for Simerly. As Mitchell goes to the line. Free throw, rattles down. 29-26, Bearcats up 3. As the Eagles will inbound it, the left of the hoop. And they're going to send it long to Smith. Smith racing to the right side of the lane, all the way to the rim, and foul called on Crystal Williams. They threw it in deep. Smith ran it down and then raced up the floor and was bumped on her way to the rim. First foul against Williams as Brianna Smith will go to the line, junior out of Nashville, Tennessee. First free throw up and in for Smith. Smith averaging over 13 points per game. One of 4 players on this Carson-Newman team averaging double figures on the year. The Eagles scoring 92 points per game. One of the fastest and most prolific offenses in Division II basketball. They trail by 1 here with 8:25 to go in the first half. Lander up 29-28. Langford on the right wing as Daly sets the screen. Langford wants to go baseline. Dish it to Daly, and she was fouled as she threw up a shot. And the call will go against Carson-Newman. That one is on Kayla Marisites, the sophomore. That's her first. And Daly at the free throw line. The sophomore out of Augusta. Averaging 3 points on the year. She's a 65% free throw shooter. She makes her first. 13 starts on the year for Daly. She's appearing in her 30th game of the season. And she makes both at the line. 31-28, Lander up 3 with 8:18 to go here in the first half. Wester goes to Harris Price on the right side. Hands it back to Wester. Wester wants to drive. Hand off to Marisites, but Mitchell's in front of her. Marisites off a screen. Right side of the lane. Had her pocket picked by Ariana Sanders. And then Sanders sends it up ahead to Langford after the ball got away from her momentarily. Langford on the left wing. Langford wants to go into the key. Finishes with the right hand off the side of the rim, but she's fouled. Great drive, aggressive drive from Destiny Langford, and the call will go on Brianna Smith. That's the third foul of the quarter against Carson-Newman, and we've still got 7:51 to go in the period. So Destiny Langford will step to the line, averaging 10.5 points per game as her first free throw long off the back iron. a 70% free throw shooter on the year, making her 29th start of the season for the Bearcats, the sophomore out of Lexington. Second free throw long, but Mitchell got the offensive rebound. Her pass deflected out to Sanders on the right wing, and Sanders will bring it back up top and give to Langford as the Bearcats reset. 7:40 to go in the first half. Lander up 3. Bounce to Sanders right side. Around the screen. Long jumper. Good. Ariana Sanders makes her first shot. It's 33-28, and then Sanders and Mitchell causing some problems for Price in the backcourt. Nearly stole it from her as she picks up her dribble and gives to Wester. Wester over the timeline. Langford in front of her. Wester wants to drive. Right side. Sends it to Price. Off her hands. Price back out to the top of the arc. 7:15 to go in the half. Smith, elbow, jumper. Off the rim, no good. And Mitchell whips down the rebound for Lander. Bearcats with a 5-point lead. Long outlet pass ahead to Daly. Tapped away and stolen by Price. Not a great decision there from Mitchell. Now Price. One-on-one with Sanders. Pass stolen. Mitchell tipped a pass away as it was Marisites who tried to enter it into Wester. Mitchell tapped it and stole it, and then the ball was kicked by Carson-Newman, and Lander will inbound it. Ariana Sanders racing over to the scorer's table, going to hand us a headband, it appears. We'll keep that safe and sound. As Lander brings up the floor, and Carson-Newman, for the first time all day, they're sitting back in half-court defense. They've not done that the entire game. 33-28, Bearcats up 5 with 6:45 to go in the second quarter. Carson-Newman back in the zone now, giving Lander a little different look defensively as Williams bounces it to Mitchell at the free throw line. Langford wants to drive, back out to Mitchell. Mitchell to Williams, left side, 3-ball on the way, too long, fight for the rebound, tapped out of bounds by Carson-Newman as it went off of Marisites, and Lander will have it with a fresh shot clock. Tori Griffin, the sophomore, back in the ball game for Carson-Newman as Smith goes to the bench. And now we'll have an official come over. Jessica Harris checking in. Destiny Langford comes out. We're going to put 2 seconds back on the clock at 6:25 to go in the second quarter. The Bearcats with a fresh 30 as Harris sends it left side. Sanders wide open, corner 3, got it! Ariana Sanders, all beautifully executed play by Lander. Harris looked off the defense and sent it to Sanders, who was wide open left corner. Bearcats up 8. Carson-Newman tries to answer, and they do with a corner 3 from Kayla Marisites. Oh, you can't let your guard down even for a second against this Eagle offense. Williams brings it in the front court. Bounce it to Harris on the left wing. Sanders is in the corner. Sanders is open again. She'll fire again. She'll hit again. Ariana Sanders, another tray. Timeout, Carson-Newman. 5:57 to go in the second quarter, and Lander on top. 39-31. We'll take a break. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. .557 to go in the first half of action. Good to have you join us tonight on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Rickson Lane with you live from Holt Fieldhouse in Jefferson City, Tennessee, on the campus of Carson-Newman University. It is top-seeded Carson-Newman trailing Lander 39-31, just under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Backdoor cut from Griffin, misses the layup, ball batted around, and Marisites got the offensive rebound for the Eagles. They'll go into Griffin. Griffin going to hand it off to Wester, over in the corner, 3-ball on the way, good. Kayla Marisites knocks down the tray, and it's 39-34. Mitchell inbound to Harris, as Harris will bring it over the timeline. Hands it off to Sanders. Sanders out top to Williams. Williams to Mitchell. Mitchell long two off the iron. Offensive rebound from Harris as Harris bounces it back out to Crystal Williams. 39-34, 5:13 to go here in the second quarter. Harris to the lane. Now backs out. 6 to shoot. Mitchell, 4 on the shot clock. Gives to Sanders. Sanders, 1 second, and they're not going to get a shot off. Ariana Sanders couldn't hear Chelsea Mitchell, and it's a shot clock violation against Lander. Saw Sanders looking over to Mitchell and pointing her ear. As a long inbound to Marisites at half court. She goes to the elbow, fires a jumper, no good, and then Jessica Harris going to get called for an over the back. Pardon me, they're going to call it on Sanders. It'll be a hold on the rebounding effort. First foul against Sanders tonight. Second against the Bearcats in the quarter as Sanders deflects the inbound pass and knocks it over the baseline. 39-34, 4:56 to go in the first half of play. Lander up 5. Carson-Newman inbounding from their own baseline. They spread the floor with 4, and now they send everybody to the left side, and they inbound it to Wester. Wester off a screen with Daly in her face. Backs out beyond the arc, and they're going to bounce it inside, and Mitchell stole it in the corner. Mitchell deflected the pass and ran it down in the corner for Lander. Another Eagle turnover. 4:40 to go in the half. Bearcats lead by 5. Harris wants to go baseline left side. Instead pushes it out to Williams. Williams going to send it over to Sanders on the right wing. Sanders looking for help. Off the screen. Long 2. Got it. Ariana Sanders has her shot going early in this one. It's 41-34. Bearcats up 7. Price gets away from Williams. Sends it to the corner. 3-ball on the way. Off the mark, no good. And Harris runs down the rebound. And now it's a foot race. 3-on-2. Harris all the way to the rim. Finishes off the glass and in. Bearcats back out by 9. And now Lander got to hurry back on defense. These Eagles do not sit and mope. They get going. Price over to the right side. They want to bounce it into Wester. Instead, drive from Stubblefield. Throws it into Griffin in the key. Griffin drive left and draws the foul on Ariana Sanders. Sanders picks up her second foul. And it'll be a shooting foul as Griffin will go to the line. Tori Griffin. On the season, averaging 4 points per game. Makes the free throw. She shoots 80% from the stripe. Sanders and Daly check out. Pettit and Langford check in. Price and Marisites to the bench for Carson-Newman. Replaced by Kelsey Marisites. And also Brianna Smith. Griffin's second free throw is true. 43-36, Bearcats up by 7. Carson-Newman will wait for them at half court. Williams brings it ahead. Langford on the right wing, Harris on the left. Pettit at the right block as Williams offensive foul as she tried to drive left hand and scoop a shot up, and she charged into a Eagle defender. I think that might have been Wester. So turnover to the Eagles with 3:49 to go in the half, and Lander leading 43-36, and then Carson-Newman had it tapped out of their hands by Mitchell on the baseline. She poked it free from Kelsey Marisites. Now we've got another clock issue. And the shot clock should have run down 1 second. And now we're good. 3:47 to go, and timeout taken by Lander. 43-36 our score, 3:47 to go in the first half. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. 43-36, Lander leading top-seeded Carson-Newman with 3:47 to go in the second quarter. Rickson Lane joining you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network as the Eagles inbounded to Griffin under the hoop. Griffin going to bring it up the floor against Harris. Mitchell comes over to Trapper as she gives it ahead to Wester over half court. Wester wants to drive left side. Had it picked away from her by Langford. Steal for the Bearcats, and now Lander in transition. Langford slowing down on the right side. Trapped. Throws it away. Griffin stole it. Tried to get it to Mitchell. I think the pass might have been tipped. Kelsey Mariside's left open. 3-ball, too long. And then a foul on the rebounding effort. They're going to call that one, I believe, on Chelsea Mitchell. That'll be the 5th foul of the quarter against Lander, as Mitchell issued for the foul. After Carson-Newman committed 3 fouls in less than 2.5 minutes in the opening of the second quarter, they have not been called for a foul since the 7:51 mark. Meanwhile, Lander has picked up 5 in that span. Both free throws down for Wester, and it's a 5-point game, 43-38. Williams barks out the offense. Mitchell to her left. Williams gives it to Harris on the right side. Harris trying to cross over Smith. Denied, so she'll back out. Harris dribbled it off her foot, and the ball stolen away by Marasite. So Smith with a good defense there out on the perimeter. Ball sent to Wester. Wester working on the screen, wants to drive left side, throws up a wild shot with her left hand, and it's rebounded by Lander. Here comes Langford. Langford into the key, floater, no good. Marasite's rebound. They had Harris open in the corner and didn't see her. 5-point lead for Lander, 2:39 to go in the second quarter. Griffin into the key. Out it goes to Wester. Wester kick it to Smith. Smith nearly lost the handle. Now wants to go. Steps back beyond the arc and still dribbling, and now handed off to Marasides. Marasides fired long 3. That one's no good. Mitchell got the rebound, and then Mitchell fouled in the backcourt, and good foul for Carson-Newman. Lander was on the verge of a 4-on-1 fast break. Call goes on Katie Stubblefield, the redshirt senior, as Price and Kayla Marasites back in the ball game. Griffin and Wester go to the bench, so bear with us, folks, because now Kayla Marasites and Kelsey Marasites, 2 sophomore guards from Elizabethton, Tennessee, are on the floor. You guessed it, they're twins. And we can't identify them as Kay Marasites, Kayla and Kelsey. We'll try to keep up the best we can. Langford gives it to Pettit. Pettit going to fire a long 2, got it. Leah Pettit, that was her spot last night against Limestone, and she knocks down another jumper. It's a 7-point lead for Lander with 2 minutes to go in the half, 45-38. Price gives it to Marasides on the right side. Back over to Price in the corner. Pettit closed out on her. Price up top to Smith. Smith wants to pass it down low and finds Stubblefield for the layup. Lobbed it over the head of Mitchell, and Stubblefield goes up with the left hand and finishes. Now Langford out in front of everybody for the layup in transition. Lander gives Carson-Newman a taste of its own medicine as they got down the floor in a flash, and it's 47-40, a minute 35 to go in the half. Price weaving up the floor, sends it right to Marasites. Marasites wants to go baseline, denied by Pettit. Now Harris will pick her up beyond the arc. Marasites picks up the dribble and sends it to Marasites. Left side it goes now to Price. Price with Langford in her face. Marasites cut to the hoop but was covered, so Price will step back and send it to Stubblefield on the baseline. 10 seconds to shoot. Stubblefield throws up a shot, and Pettit got a piece of it but also got a piece of Stubblefield. Leah Pettit whistled for the foul. Her second, and Carson-Newman in the bonus. So this is Kayla Stubblefield at the line. Free throw is good. And Tabitha Daly will come off the bench. A minute 17 to go in the first half, and Lander's lead is 5 after the free throws from the Eagles. 47-42. Mitchell at the top of the arc. Wants to go one-on-one against Marasites. Drives off the back of the rim and got it to fall. Had the contact, no whistle, so she finishes it anyway. 49-42, under a minute to go in the half. Marasites ahead to her sister. Harris backpedaling on defense as Marasides crosses over in the key, drives inside, fouled on her way to the rim and lays it in. Oh, I didn't see a lot of contact there. Kevin Pedersen didn't either. They're calling Tabitha Daly. Boy, I thought that was going to go on Harris. That's the first against Daly. And with 49 seconds to go, it's 49-44 Bearcats. Kayla Marisites at the free throw line. And she converts the three-point play. It's a 4-point ball game as Williams brings it up the floor against Price. Williams to Harris on the right side. Now Williams holding her right knee. Still hunched over as Harris tried to pass it to her. And Williams still hobbling at the other end as Smith's layup won't go. Daly got the rebound, and now Langford's down. Bearcats have two players shaken up. Langford holding her shoulder, and Williams still barely able to walk on the other end of the floor. Williams tried to set a screen. I don't know if she got kneed on that knee that's given her problems throughout the year, but she was hobbling, and then Harris tried to pass it to her, and she was hunched over, and it bounced off of her. Then at the other end, Langford had a collision defensively and was holding her shoulder, her right shoulder. So Destiny Webster and Alexis High check into the game. High, a sophomore from Jonesboro, Georgia. Webster, a freshman from Marietta, Georgia. The Bearcats, nice job defensively to play 5 on 3 there. And now they'll have the ball with a chance to hold for the last shot of the half, up by 4. 20 seconds to go in the half. Lander up 49-45. Harris frees herself from Price. Price trying to stay up on her. Harris going to put it in motion now with 8 seconds. Hand off to Webster. Webster back to Harris in the corner. Harris, 3 seconds, wants to drive. Harris, reverse layup, no good. Rebound by Carson-Newman, and we'll go to halftime. 49-45. Lander leading top-seeded Carson-Newman by 4 as we head to the break. We'll step aside when we come back. First half stats for you. Lander up 49-45. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Back in Jefferson City, Tennessee, Rickson Lane with you. Halftime here in Holt Fieldhouse at Carson-Newman University. Lander, the 4th seed in the Southeast Regional, leading top-seeded and 6th-ranked Carson-Newman, 49-45 here at halftime. So we'll give you the stats now for the first half. First, for the home Carson-Newman Eagles. The first half, the Eagles from the field, they were 15 of 33, 5 of 13 from long range, 10 of 11 from the free throw line, 17 rebounds in the half for Carson-Newman, 7 offensive, 10 defensive. They had 10 assists to 9 turnovers. Kayla Marisites leading the way for the Eagles with 12 points. Kelsey Marisites, their top rebounder, with 4 rebounds in the game. Carson-Newman 10 points in the paint, 7 second chance points, 4 fast break points, and 6 points off of turnovers. Their bench put up 10 points in the first half. Meanwhile, for the Lander Bearcats, 50% from the floor, 18 of 36. They're 4 of 10 from downtown, 9 of 12 from the charity stripe. Leading the rebounding battle, 20-17. They've had 10 offensive rebounds in this game. 9 assists to 10 turnovers, so the inverse of what the Eagles have done. They have Chelsea Mitchell leading the way right now with 12 points and 7 rebounds on the day. 16-10 advantage for Lander points in the paint. They've converted those 9 Carson-Newman turnovers into 10 points, 10 second chance points for the Bearcats, and 8 points fast break. Their bench outscoring Carson-Newman's bench 17-10. We've had 8 ties, we've had 7 lead changes, and we've got a lot of fun basketball here in Holt Fieldhouse. 49-45, Bearcats up by 4. We'll step aside when we come back. Second half action from Carson-Newman University. It's the 1 seed and the 4 seed for the right to play for the Southeast Regional Championship. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. We welcome you back to Jefferson City, Tennessee in the NCAA Southeast Regional. Second round matchup between top-seeded Carson-Newman and fourth-seeded Lander. The Bearcats lead it 49-45 as we begin third quarter action here at Carson-Newman University. The Eagles, the top seed, and the sixth-ranked team in America. Lander, the 4 seed, trying to move to the Southeast Regional Championship game for the first time in 6 years. A 49-45 lead at halftime for Lander. Mitchell led the way with 12 points. Bearcats also got 10 from Sanders, 8 from Langford. Meanwhile, for Carson-Newman, 12 from Kayla Marisites, 7 from Price, 6 apiece from Wester and Simerly. Now Lander, in the final seconds of that second quarter, saw both Crystal Williams and Destiny Langford banged up. Langford holding a shoulder. Williams gimpy with her knee. Williams came out jogging. Langford came out in a sling. She appears to be done for the night. Bearcats will go with Johnson, Sanders, Webster, Mitchell, and Harris. Price, Wester, Simerly, Smith, and Marisites for Carson-Newman. Simerly hands it off to Wester, and Wester bounces it off her knee. Oh, they're going to say it was knocked out of bounds by Lander. I thought the Bearcats had gotten the turnover there to open up the quarter. Carson-Newman will inbound from far sideline. 49-45. Lander up 4. Smith weaving inside, and Mitchell read the pass beautifully and stole it away. Lander has got a 2-on-1. Mitchell off the glass and in. Chelsea Mitchell's got 14 points. She leads all scorers, and Lander leads at 51-45. Bearcats got to hustle back on defense as Price sends it out to Wester. Wester, 3-ball on the way. Got it. They worked it inside to Simerly, outside to Wester, and Wester buries a 3. It's 51-48. All these Eagles, they go so quickly and they're so effective on offense. It's 51-48 with 9:20 to go in the third quarter. Sanders up top, guarded by Wester. Johnson just inside the arc, gives it off to Webster. Webster to Mitchell. 10 on the shot clock. Mitchell lobs at the right block. Johnson gonna fire a jumper. Rims out no good and rebounded by Wester. Johnson a quiet in the first half. Just 2 points and 1 rebound in 7 minutes. The Bearcats need her now, though. Wester weaves through traffic. Jumper on the way. Rattled it down. Michael Wester, 5 early points. And then Lander commits a turnover on the inbound. Mitchell stepped over the line. Carson-Newman wasn't pressing. And Lander wants a timeout. Eagles out quickly. 8:54 to go in the third quarter, 51-50. Lander leads by 1 as Carson-Newman comes out firing as you knew they would. Can the Bearcats hold? Can the Bearcats take back the momentum? 8:54 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. (51-50), Lander leads by 1 as Carson-Newman comes out with 5 quick points in the third quarter, and they've cut the Bearcat deficit, or the Bearcat lead, to just 1. And now they'll inbound from under their own hoop, and they throw it away. Pass over the head of Wester. Harris on the run out. Harris the layup, and Lander's back up by 3, 53-50. And then Mitchell stole it away from Price on the inbound. Harris bounced it to Webster. Webster fouled by Wester, and Destiny Webster will go to the free throw line. The freshman out of Marietta, Georgia. Michael Wester called for the foul. Second foul of the game on the junior forward. And Destiny Webster at the line. Played 7 impressive minutes last night in the fourth quarter of the win over Limestone as her first free throw rattles down. Webster averaging just a shade over a point a game in 5 minutes, but she's going to be pressed into service tonight with Destiny Langford out and Crystal Williams questionable here in the second half. Both were injured in the waning seconds of the first half. Webster's second free throw is good. 55-50, Lander up 5, 8:41 to go third quarter. Price weaves through traffic, 3 blue jerseys chasing her, sends it to Smith. Smith thought about a 3, but Mitchell closed on her, so Smith drives baseline and lays it up and in with the left hand. 55-52, Webster hands off to Harris. Harris, hip high dribble with the right hand, gives to Webster right side. Over to Mitchell, they swing it around Sanders left wing. Sanders gonna fire a 3 off the front iron and Smith with a rebound. Ariana Sanders, that's the first shot she's missed in this game. She was 4 of 4, including 2 of 2 from beyond the arc in the first half. Smith, step back, long jumper, barely got the front of the rim, and Sanders gets the rebound. It's a 3-point lead for Lander, 8 minutes to go third quarter. Sanders, side shuffles right, now bounces it over to Webster. Gets it right back. Sanders going to go inside Johnson. Johnson on the block, through a double team, up and under with the left hand, and she drew the foul. Oh, Breshea Johnson splits the double team beautifully as Simerly whistled for the foul, and Johnson will go to the free throw line with 7:50 to play in the quarter. Simerly picks up the foul, and Breshea Johnson at the line. Just 2 points in this game for the senior, and the all-time leading scorer in Lander women's basketball history, an all-conference selection this year, and she makes her first free throw. Katie Stubblefield in the game for Carson-Newman as Simerly checks out. Johnson, only the 3rd player in program history to be a 3-time All-Peach Belt Conference selection. And she makes both free throws. It's 57-52. High throw into Marisite. She corrals it, gives it right back to Wester. Wester brings it up against Mitchell. Mitchell right on her as Wester tries to shake free. Over the timeline, now just top of the arc. She wants to drive. Kicks it to Smith in the corner. Harris trying to shade her to the baseline. He wants to drive her into Mitchell. She goes into Mitchell, and an offensive foul. Brianna Smith. That's just how the Bearcats drew it up. Mitchell was waiting for her on the baseline, and Harris shaded her way over to the right, forced Smith to drive to her right, and she plowed into Mitchell. 3rd foul of the quarter against Carson-Newman. With 7:33 to go in the 3rd. Harris brings it ahead. Hands off to Webster. Webster traveled. Had Price on her. Kevin Pedersen with a word of encouragement for his freshman guard. Lander going to back out of the press here as Price brings it ahead. 57-52 Bearcats, 7:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. They work inside to Wester. Wester looking for an open shooter. Sends it to Marisites. Mitchell closed out on him. Marisites wants to go baseline. Gives it over to Smith. Smith right side to Price. Price wants to go to the free throw line. Now bouncing it inside. And Simerly, check it, Stubblefield with a lay-in. Johnson went for the steal and couldn't get it. 57-54 now. 6:58 to go third quarter. Bearcats up by 3. Mitchell sends it to Sanders left wing. Entry pass to Johnson. Tapped away. Johnson went to the floor and got it. And then Carson-Newman commits a foul. 4th foul of the quarter against the Eagles with 6:50 to go in the period. Call will go on Harris Price, the guard. 2nd foul against the standout point guard, Harris Price. Harris long inbound, just over the outstretched arms of Marisites as Webster, check it, Mitchell directs the offense. Sends Webster to the left wing. Mitchell breaks down the defender, jumper high off the back of the backboard, and rebounded by Johnson. Johnson over to Sanders on the right side. Johnson wanted it on the block. Instead, they give it to Harris, and Harris will set the offense. 6:28 to go in the quarter. Lander up by 3. Harris right side. Price guarding her. Johnson sets the screen. Harris goes left, then drives right on the baseline, looking for help. Throws it out, and Mitchell chases it down in front of the Bearcat bench. 7 to shoot. Webster wide open, straight away. 3, yes indeed! Destiny Webster, trifecta. And it's 60-54. Lander up 6. 6:08 to go in quarter number 3. Big time three-pointer there from the freshman. Wester bringing it ahead. Webster trying to chase her down. Skip pass over. Harris tipped it, and the ball out of bounds off of Lander. Jessica Harris deflected that dangerous pass. Carson-Newman gets a break. They'll hang on to the basketball. 5:58 to go in the third quarter. Bearcats up a half dozen. Carson-Newman inbound far sideline. It's about 10 feet off the baseline. Smith triggers it into Stubblefield. Stubblefield wanted to do a backdoor pass but Lander clogged it up. Now Wester to the free throw line. Wants to go right side. Mitchell poked it free. Wester runs it down on the baseline. Wester turnaround, hook shot, left hand. Beautiful. Up and in from Michael Wester. 60-56 now. It's a 4-point lead for Lander. 5:38 to go third quarter. Harris looks over the bench, gets the call. Harris wanted to drive, and then Harris Price fouled her. That's the third foul on Harris Price, as Harris wanted to drive right, and Price has got to go to the bench. She'll be replaced by Tori Griffin with 5:33 to go in the third quarter. And they're going to have Harris shoot her free throws first. Bearcats are in the bonus with 5:33 to go in the third quarter. So this is Jessica Harris, the sophomore out of Sumter, South Carolina. Peach Bowl Conference leader in assists this season. And she makes the first. Now Price out, Griffin in. Mitchell removes Webster from the lane as she wants to get in on the rebounding action. Second free throw from Harris is true. 62-56, Landers lead back out 2-6. As they inbounded to Smith. Smith quickly up ahead. Griffin open in the corner. 3-ball. Long off the back iron. Bouncing up. And then the offensive board from Stubblefield. And Harris fouled her. Jessica Harris whistled for the call. First foul against Jessica Harris. And that will send Katie Stubblefield, the fifth-year senior, to the free throw line. 5:26 to play in the third period. As Stubblefield's free throw is good. Carson-Newman has been money from the free throw line. 11 of 12 in this one. Stubblefield's second free throw rattles off the rim, no good, and Mitchell tipped it out to Harris for the defensive board. Harris into the front court. Stutter step, drive, hard off the glass, no good. Johnson got the rebound. She puts it off the window and in. Brashay Johnson, nice offensive board and put back. And Landers up by 7, 64-57, and then Webster poked it free out of bounds. Wester will have to inbound. And Carson-Newman's got 6 seconds to get it over half court. Good defense from Mitchell and Webster. Mitchell telling her teammates, don't let them throw it in deep. They want to throw it in deep. Smith jumps over Sanders to get it. And now Smith will wait on the cavalry to come. She wants to drive right side on Sanders. Throws up a wild shot and drew the foul on Ariana Sanders. Shooting foul for Smith. That's Sanders' third foul. Kevin Pearson going to leave her in the game as he shouts out to Sanders, holds up 3 fingers and taps his temple. Be smart now as he's going to leave her on the floor. Pedersen trying to argue Smith was out of control. I don't think he's wrong. As Smith makes the first free throw. But at the same time, there wasn't really a charge there. Pedersen telling Sanders, hey, next time back off of her and take the charge. Second free throw is good. 64-59. Landers lead is 5 halfway through the third quarter here in Jefferson City, Tennessee, Holt Fieldhouse at Carson-Newman University. Top-seeded Carson-Newman and 4th-seeded Lander doing battle here in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Johnson calls for her to the free throw line and gets it. Matched up on Stubblefield. She wants to drive left. Offensive foul. Lowered her shoulder and Stubblefield took a charge. That'll take us to immediate timeout, 64-59. Lander up 5 with 4:46 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. 64-59, Lander leading Carson-Newman with 4:46 to go in the third quarter here in the NCAA tournament. Southeast Regional Semifinal. North Georgia awaiting the winner of this one in the championship on Monday night. Lander will set the full court press as Smith gets the inbound. Now a miscommunication there. Smith runs unobstructed down the far sideline. Sends it out to Wester. Wester working on Destiny Webster. She backs her way into the lane, throws up a hook shot left hand, and it rattles down. Size mismatch there as Wester towering over Webster. It's 64-61. Lander's lead is 3. 4:23 to go in quarter number 3. Webster driving, shot off the front of the rim. Johnson fighting for the rebound, taps it to Mitchell. Mitchell leaner, it won't go, and rebounded by Marasites. Two decent looks there for the Bearcats, but they couldn't get it to fall. 4:05 to go. Wester into the key, sends it right side. Griffin wide open, 3-ball good. And we are tied, 64-64. Eagles, you knew they would not go quietly. Now can Lander respond, quiet down this crowd here at Holt Fieldhouse. Eagles are undefeated in this building this year. 30-2 on the season. Harris directing traffic, 15 on the shot clock. To the free throw line, over to Mitchell. Mitchell 10 to shoot, pumps a couple times to the elbow, jumper, got it. That'll quiet everybody down momentarily. Carson-Newman's only losses this year at Wingate and at Lincoln Memorial. Unbeaten here at Holt Fieldhouse. And they're trying to spring the upset. Open shooter left side, 3-ball good. Marasites puts the Eagles back on top. Lander keeps leaving people open. And the Eagles are making them pay. It's 67-60. Carson-Newman has only led this game for just under 3 minutes. Lander's held the lead for over 20 minutes. But they trail by 1 now. Harris goes baseline, whips it to Sanders in the corner, 3-ball, air ball, rebounded by Stubblefield. That looked funny coming out of her hand. 67-66, Eagles up 1. Wester, step back, 3, off the mark. Johnson with the rebound. And Johnson will dribble once and push it out to Harris as Harris brings it into the front court. 2:40 to go in the third. Lander down a point. Harris in the corner, off the screen from Johnson. Backs out, 18 to shoot. Pedersen calls for the offense to reset. Harris setting it up. Sanders comes to the top of the key. 12 to shoot now. Harris taps her head with the right hand. 7 on the shot clock. Harris straight away to the free throw line. Jumper, she was fouled. Jessica Harris will go to the free throw line with 2:18 to go in the third quarter and Lander down a point. Call is on Smith. That is her third, and Harris is at the line in a 1-point ball game. First free throw bounces off the front of the rim, the back of the rim, and bounces out. And Crystal Williams is back in the ball game for Lander. She was injured in the waning minute of the first half with an apparent knee issue. She is back in for Destiny Webster. Brianna Smith checks out, and Harris Price comes back in the ball game with 3 fouls. So Harris at the line. Her second free throw is good, and it's 67 all. 2:18 to go third quarter. Price gets the inbound and wants to push. Sends it left side to Marasites. Marasites is open, steps into a 3 and hit it. You saw that one coming. Marasites was unguarded down the left side. Lander never picked her up, and she stepped in with him into a 3-pointer. It's 70-67. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Johnson double teamed. Travels on the block. Another turnover by Johnson. Mitchell and Williams both grab her and they're in her ear. They need the senior down the stretch. Carson-Newman up 3 with 1:59 to go in quarter number 3. 70-67 our score. Price trapped, bounces it ahead to Webster. Webster sends it right side. Griffin open in the corner. Her 3 is good. And Carson-Newman's got its largest lead in the game. 73-67. Bearcat timeout. 1:45 to go in the third quarter. Eagles up by 6. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. A 14-3 run for Carson-Newman over the last 3 minutes has the Eagles up 73-67 on the Lander Bearcats. Eagles sitting back in half-court defense as Williams walks it over the timeline. Largest lead of the game for Carson-Newman. Bearcats go into Johnson. Johnson up top, Sanders. Sanders to Williams. Williams thought about a long three. Instead, bounces in. The ball was kicked. Fortunate break for Lander. Carson-Newman appeared on their way to a fast break. 73-67. Bearcats down a half dozen. 1:32 to go in the third quarter. We've got another clock issue. We've had more shot clock issues today than I can remember seeing in a long time. Not only this game, but the game before us, North Georgia and Wingate. Repeated instances where they had to reset the shot clock, set it to a new number. So Lander will have 16 seconds to shoot here. 1:32 left in the third quarter. The Bearcats trail 73-67. Griffin nearly stole the inbound, but Williams took it away from her. 10 to shoot. Harris with the ball, long three-pointer, off the mark, fight for the rebound, and Carson-Newman knocks it out of bounds. Fresh shot clock for Lander. It was Griffin who was chasing it down against Johnson. .118 to go third quarter. Lander down 73-67. Mitchell hands it off to Harris. Harris rocks the cradle on the right wing. Price guarding her. Left wing it goes to Sanders. Sanders looking for help. Johnson flashes the high post. Johnson over to Mitchell. Mitchell pumps, stepping back with 10 seconds to shoot. Now drives inside, and a blocking foul against the Eagles, and Mitchell's going to shoot free throws. Call is on Stubblefield. Second on Stubblefield. The foul situation at the moment for Carson-Newman. 3 on Price, 3 on Smith, 3 on Simerly. For Lander, 3 on Sanders and 3 on Johnson. This is Chelsea Mitchell at the line. 16 points to lead the Bearcats. Also their top rebounder with 8 tonight as her first free throw tickles the twine. 73-68, 57 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bearcats have not hit a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Second free throw is true, and it's a 4-point game. Price brings it ahead. Sanders and Mitchell chasing her down. She gives it to Marisites. Marisites to Wester. Wester sends it to Griffin in the corner. 3-ball on the way. Way too strong, but Marisites offensive rebound under the backboard. Puts up a shot. Tough, and it falls in. Tough look from Marisites, but she forced it up and in off the glass. Sanders down the right side. Bearcats down by 6. 33 seconds to go in the quarter. Lander can run the game clock down to 9 seconds before they have to shoot. Williams bumped. Passes out to Harris. Harris hesitates. Goes baseline. Denied. Backs out with 11 on the shot clock. Taps her head with the right hand. Wants to set the offense up. Harris gonna drive, had her shot blocked by Marisites, and now Carson-Newman can potentially hold for the final shot of the quarter if they want to. Marisites bringing it up the floor. Marisites out to Wester. Wester, 5 to shoot. Wester to the free throw line. Jumper, rims it in, and that'll end the quarter. Carson-Newman's got an 8-point lead. Bearcats facing the top team in the region on their home floor. Time to bow your neck if you're in blue and gold. 77-69, Carson-Newman on top. We're listening to Bearcat basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. We go to the fourth quarter in Jefferson City, Tennessee. The top-seeded Carson-Newman Eagles leading the fourth-seeded Lander Bearcats 77-69 here at a packed Holt Fieldhouse. Rickson Lays joining you on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. You knew Carson-Newman trailing by 4 at halftime would come out swinging in the third quarter, and indeed they did. They outscored the Bearcats by 12 in the third quarter, 32-20. Now Lander has got to rally. Harris at the top of the arc sends it to Sanders. Sanders, 3-ball. Yes, indeed, Ariana Sanders. She was cold in the third quarter. Heats back up for that one, 77-72. Price up ahead. Price left open on the left wing. Dribbles it, gives it to Griffin, top of the arc. Griffin wants to go into Wester. Wester on Mitchell. Wester picks up her dribble, bounces it down low. Marisites. Marisites lays it up and in. Had Jessica Harris on her. Marisites backed her away. 79-72. The lead is 7 for Carson-Newman. Harris, right wing, wants to lob it inside. Instead, will keep the dribble as she backs back between the rings. Williams on the right side. Williams back to Harris, 10 on the shot clock. Harris, three-pointer, long off the iron, but Johnson tipped it out to her at half court, and Lander's got a fresh shot clock. 9 minutes to go in the game. Lander down 79-72. Mitchell at the left elbow. Mitchell fires up a 2, rimmed out no good, and rebounded by Price. Good look there for Mitchell, and it was halfway home, but it wouldn't fall. Marisites over to Wester, left wing. Wester with Mitchell in her face, over to Price. Price wanted a long 3, but Sanders closed on her. Now Price, skip pass in the corner. This is Marisites. Mitchell jumps in front of her, and the 3's no good, but an offensive rebound. And then Sanders nearly picked the pass away. It's tipped to Price. Price to Wester. Wester open for 3, too strong. Fight for the rebound. Offensive rebound and put back for Marisites. 81-72. It's a 9-point ball game. And then a foul on Harris Price as Jessica Harris drove, and that's the 4th foul on Harris Price. Brianna Smith checking in as Price goes to the bench. She's got 7 points and 6 assists. Marisites leads Carson-Newman with 24 points. Wester has 17. Mitchell has 18 for Lander as Sanders' jumper no good, and the defensive board to Carson-Newman. 8:10 to play. Lander down 9. Bearcats need defensive stops. Stubblefield out to Smith, playing with 3 fouls. Smith wants to go to the right side. Bearcats extend the defense way out. They skip it over to Griffin. Griffin going to fire a 3. Hit it. Tori Griffin on a skip pass. Oh, the Eagles find those shooters so well on those big cross-court passes. It's 84-72. It's the largest lead of the game for Carson-Newman. Largest lead of the game for either team. Johnson double team, kicks to Sanders. Sanders straight away 3, rimmed out no good. Marisites with the rebound. Bearcats have not scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, Carson-Newman's gone on a 7-0 run. And then they bounce it into Stubblefield for the lay-in. Eagles trying to pull away in this one. Kevin Person wants a timeout. 86-72, Carson-Newman leads by 14, 7:18 to play. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Carson-Newman currently on a 9-0 run as they lead Lander by 14. They have outscored the Bearcats in the second half 41-23. Lander trying to rally here. We've got another clock issue. So 86-72. Daly will inbound it near sideline. 7:16 to play. Bearcats trying to come back here against the top team in the Southeast on their home gym. Webster with the ball on the right side, out to Sanders. Sanders pumps a three, gives to Harris. Harris has a screen from Daly. She'll take it and go to the free throw line. Back out to Webster, 13 to shoot. Daly way beyond the arc, over to Harris now. Harris wants to drive, kick to Sanders. Sanders pumps a three. Webster, 5 on the shot clock, trying to create here. 3 to shoot, dribbled it into the hands of Carson-Newman, and then the Eagles knocked it out of bounds. Carson-Newman is going to get on a shot clock violation. I'm not sure how that's a shot clock violation because the Eagles had stolen the ball and then knocked it away. Knocked it out of bounds. Mitchell will check in. Daly will check out. 14-point lead for the Eagles. 6:47 to play. So Smith will walk it up. She extends her thumb and pinky. And Webster commits a blocking foul out on the perimeter. First foul of the quarter against Lander. 6:38 to go. Bearcats down 86-72. Lander 25-7 on the season. They've won 25 games in back-to-back-to-back years for the first time in the history of the program. Griffin to the corner. Wester goes to the block, and now Marisites. Marisites working around Mitchell. Tough lay-in, won't go. Long rebound, and Marisites, no. Lander punched it out of bounds. Thought Marisites poked it out. They're going to say it was off of Sanders, I believe. So 6:27 to play. Carson-Newman with a 14-point lead. (86-72) Carson-Newman on top. The Eagles have shot 75% in the third quarter, and they're shooting over 60 in the fourth, and now Lander gets called for a hold on the inbound. That is on Ariana Sanders, and that is her fourth. She has stayed on the floor ever since picking up her third foul. Stubblefield gets the inbound. Dribbles and hands behind her to Wester. 6:23 to play. Carson-Newman with a 14-point lead. Wester driving on Sanders. Throws up a wild shot, no good. Marisites got the rebound and the putback. 88-72. Just over 6 minutes to go. Bearcats down 16, largest deficit they faced all night. Harris going to fire a jumper off the front iron, and Marisites with the rebound. Bearcats just 3 points here, 4 minutes into the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Carson-Newman has put up 11. Smith gives to Wester. Wester goes to Stubblefield. Stubblefield nearly lost the handle on the baseline, throws it away. Sanders picked the pass off, and it's Sanders sandwiched, and we're going to get a foul on the Eagles. Call will go on Marisites. That is her second foul. Bearcats trying to rally down 16. Timeout Carson-Newman. They lead it 88-72 with 5:44 to play. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. (88-72) Carson-Newman leading Lander. The Bearcats trying to upset the 6th-ranked team in America. They got 5:44 to rally. Mitchell, Harris, Sanders, Johnson, Webster on the floor for Lander. Harris gets the inbound and dribbles with the right hand, top of the arc. Smith waiting inside the arc for Sanders, now with it on the left wing. Up top it goes to Johnson, just inside the circle. Over to Webster. Webster out to Mitchell. Mitchell working on Marasites. Mitchell straight away. Screen set by Johnson. Mitchell drives left and fouled. And Chelsea Mitchell will go to the free throw line as Kayla Marasites picks up the foul. No, they're going to call on Tori Griffin. That's her second foul. Bearcats back to the free throw line. This is Chelsea Mitchell. 18 points and 8 rebounds for her in this game. Just 6 points in the second half. It's Carson-Newman outscoring the Bearcats 43-24 here in the second half. Mitchell's first free throw is in. The second one bounces off. First time she's missed from the line all night. Rebounded by Wester. It's a 15-point game with 5:19 to go. Griffin, three ball, no good. And Pettit got the rebound for Lander. This Eagle team's not going to slow down as Mitchell trapped, gets it out to Sanders. Left side it goes to Harris. 5:05 to play. Bearcats need buckets and stops. Harris dribbles to the top of the arc, sends it to Sanders on the right wing. Entry lob to Harris, or to Johnson. Back out to Sanders, corner three, front rim no good. Pettit got the rebound, put it back up with the right hand. Nice little 8-foot floater. And it's 88-75. Lander back within 13. Harris Price going to hurry back in the ball game for Carson-Newman. Smith goes to the bench. Price is playing with 4 fouls. On the Bearcat side, Sanders playing with 4 fouls. Marasites gives it to Stubblefield, back to Wester. Now over to Price. Price top of the arc. Into Marasites on the right wing. Marasites wants to drive in the key. Throws up a wild shot. A blocking foul called against Lander. No, it's a charge. A charge called on Kayla Marasites. That is her third. Lander with the ball, 4:35 to play, trailing 88-75. Chelsea Mitchell on the far baseline. She's holding what looks like her left forearm. Mitchell will inbound to Jessica Harris, who will let it roll all the way to the sideline before she picks it up at half court. 4:32 to go. Bearcats down 13. Harris to Sanders left side. Sanders way beyond the arc, pumps a pass, now gives to Pettit at the free throw line. Pettit going to rise up for a jumper. Got it. Oh, Leah Pettit came to play in this NCAA tournament. 88-77 now. Pettit's got 9 points on the night. 4:13 to play. Bearcats trying to chip away here. They're on a 5-0 run. Griffin gives it to Price. Price on the right wing. Now she wants to drive. Throws up a layup and she was fouled. Harris Price will go to the free throw line with 4:01 to go. Call is on Leah Pettit. That is her third. So Harris Price to the free throw line. Now Carson-Newman has gone scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but they've got Price at the line, and they're a good free throw shooting team, and Price makes the first. She's got 8 points on the night, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. Johnson quickly out. Tabitha Daly comes in. Kevin Pedersen wants a quick word with his senior, and then it looks like he plans to get her back in the game as quickly as he can. Price's second free throw, no good. And the rebound by Chelsea Mitchell. That's just the third missed free throw, or second missed free throw all night for Carson-Newman. Pettit under the hoop. Contact, can't finish. Daly had the rebound and then had it stolen. And now a long outlet pass to Griffin. 2-on-4. Griffin dribbles back out. Gives to Stubblefield at the free throw line. And now Price will step back with 3:35 to go. Carson-Newman up by 12. Griffin hands to Wester. Wester off the screen. Wester to the right wing between her legs. Steps back. 3 ball off the front iron, no good. And Sanders rose up for the rebound and she was fouled. I think they're going to call it on Griffin. That is her 3rd foul. Smith to the scorer's table for Carson-Newman. Brashay Johnson waiting there. And Lander's going to shoot free throws for the rest of the game. 3:23 to play. The Bearcats in this game are 19 of 24 from the line. 79%. They're 10 of 12 this half. And this is Ariana Sanders. 13 points tonight. 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Has played in foul trouble the majority of this half as her first free throw is good. And in comes the senior, Brashay Johnson. Tabitha Daly checks out. It's Johnson, Pettit, Sanders, Harris, and Mitchell on the floor for Carson-Newman. Stubblefield, Price, Smith, Marasites, and Wester. Carson-Newman without a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 48 seconds. But they lead by 11 with 3:23 to play. Time running out on the Bearcats. Both teams have attempted 60 shots from the field. Carson-Newman 53%, Lander 43%. And that's your difference. Both free throws good from Sanders. It's a 10-point ball game. Lander trying to scratch and claw their way back into this one. 3:15 to play as Price looks over the defense. Bounces it to Smith on the right wing. Wester flashes to the low block. Instead, Smith comes off a screen from Stubblefield. Now Wester beyond the arc right side. Goes baseline to Marasites. Marasites floater good. Leaning away on the baseline. Got it to go with contact. It's 91-79. Mitchell brings it ahead. Out to Harris. Bearcats need buckets and they need them fairly quickly. They lob it into Johnson on the right block. Johnson back to Harris. Harris dribbles from right to left. Bearcats taking a long time on this possession, but they need a basket. Sanders on the right wing. Sanders trying to free herself from Smith. Back it goes to Mitchell. Mitchell going to fire straight away 3. Off the mark, no good. Pettit with the rebound. Johnson. And Johnson finished it. Beautiful done by the big post. Pettit with the rebound. Johnson back. 81 points for the Bearcats. They only have 12 quarters. The lowest quarter of the game. They trail by 10 and 2:15 to play. Price going to milk this clock here. Bearcats singing the man. They've got Pettit out on Harris Price, and Price wants to drive. She's denied. And she'll step back beyond the arc. 7 to shoot. He goes to Marasites. Into Stubblefield on the block. Marasites cutting. They go to Wester. Wester wants to go baseline. Floater left hand. Bouncing around, and it's locked in. They took every second off the shot clock, and they got a bucket. That's big for Carson-Newman. 93-81. Lander down 12. A minute 45 to go. Sanders into Johnson. Batted out of bounds by Carson-Newman. Lander inbound on the baseline. A minute 41 to play. Bearcats down 12. They've gotten 19 from Mitchell, 15 from Sanders, and 10 from Harris. Harris puts the offense in motion. They inbound it high to Johnson. Johnson, hand back to Pettit. Pettit, long 2, got it. Oh my goodness, Leah Pettit, 11 points now. It's a 10-point ball game, 93-83, 90 seconds to go now. Bearcats have got to get a stop here. They just have to. Price, way out near half court. Sanders on her. And now Lander wants to trap. Price sees it and dribbles left side. Wants to get around and goes all the way to the rim. Layup no good. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Carson-Newman. A minute 13 to go. Bearcats will have the ball. Good defensive possession there from Lander. Forced a missed layup and got the ball. And now Carson-Newman drops back defensively. Harris will bring it ahead. 1:10 to go. Lander down by 10, 93-83. Harris dribbles up top. 1 minute to go. Harris to the right, hands to Mitchell. Mitchell, kick it to Harris. Harris into the block, puts it inside to Johnson. Johnson under the hoop, lost the handle. Mitchell over to Pettit. Pettit fade away, got it again. Leah Pettit, another bucket. Timeout taken by Carson-Newman. 45 seconds to go. 93-85. Lander down 8. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. 93-85 our score. Lander trailing Carson-Newman by 8 with 45 seconds to play. The Eagles trying to hang on and advance to the Southeast Regional Championship. Lander trying to spring the upset. Eagles have led by as many as 16. 5.5 minutes ago, they led by 16. It's now an 8-point game. The Bearcats will not go quietly. So Lander's got their defense set up, and Carson-Newman's going to inbound against it. They go from right to left as you're listening. Price got free of Mitchell, and she brings it over half court, and the Bearcats got to try to foul. Price dribbling around, trying to get free. She's got 3 blue jerseys on her, trying to get away. Johnson poked it free and committed a foul. Oh my goodness, not much there at all. Johnson called for the foul. That is her 4th. Oh, it looked like she had gotten a hand on it. Bearcats have one more foul to give before the Eagles will shoot free throws, as Stubblefield will inbound it from the near sideline. 32.7 seconds to go. Bearcats down 8. They inbound it to Price. Gets it into Wester. 30 seconds to play. Pass out to Price. Price still dribbling. And Lander's not going to bother to foul her. Bearcats fought valiantly here in the 4th quarter, but Carson-Newman's going to hold on. 93-85 will be your final as Marisites fires a 3 and hits it. 96-85. Marisites is open on the left wing. Eagles could have run the clock down to 1 second there, and they fired a 3-pointer up 8. Pedersen not happy. I don't think the call was made to shoot a 3, but Carson-Newman took one when they could have run the clock down to a second. Harris fires and misses as the ball goes out of bounds with 1.5 seconds to go. Lander's season will come to an end, 96-85. They gave the top-seeded team in the region all they could handle, but Carson-Newman holds on. That'll do it from Jefferson City. Season ending for the Bearcats at 25-8. Carson-Newman goes to 31-2. They'll play Gulf, Georgia in the Southeast Region Championship Monday night at 7 o'clock. The Bearcats come up 1 game short, but they move to the second round of the NCAA tournament for the 2nd consecutive season. We'll come back and wrap things up from Jefferson City when we return. 96-85 your final, Carson-Newman victorious. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. (96-85) the final score here from Holt Fieldhouse. Rickson Lane joining you as we wrap things up on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network. Lander got 19 points from Chelsea Mitchell, 15 from Ariana Sanders, as the Bearcats also picked up 13 from Leah Pettit and 10 from Jessica Harris, but it was not enough this evening. Carson-Newman led by 31 points from Kayla Marisites, 19 from Michael Wester, 14 from Tori Griffin, and 10 from Katie Stubblefield. The Eagles shot 54.7% from the field, Lander 44.6%. Carson-Newman 12 of 27 from deep, Lander 6 of 20. Bearcats were 80.8% from the free throw line, Carson-Newman 82.4. Bearcats won the rebounding battle 35-34. They had 15 assists and 16 turnovers. Carson-Newman 23 assists, led by 11 from Wester, and 15 turnovers. On the boards, Marisites had 10 for Carson-Newman, 5 for Wester. For Lander, it was Mitchell with 9 and 5 apiece for Harris and Johnson. Points in the paint were even at 26. Lander converted turnovers into 19 points. Carson-Newman 15 points off turnover. Lander 21 second chance points. Carson-Newman with 14 second chance points. Bearcats 12 points on the fast break, 9 for the Eagles. Bearcat bench outscored Carson-Newman's 35-24. Lander led this game for just under 20 minutes. Carson-Newman led for just under 16. The game was tied for about 4 minutes. But the Eagles were too much in the second half as they put up 51 points and held the Bearcats to 36, and they win it 96-85. That is your final. Well, that'll do it for us for basketball season on the Bearcat Broadcasting Network, but don't you worry, we've got baseball, we've got softball to bring you for the rest of the year. Also, tennis and golf in season back in Greenwood, South Carolina. Thanks so much for joining us for what has been a great NCAA Southeast Regional for the Lander Bearcats. They improve on the year 25-8. They go back-to-back-to-back seasons with 25 wins for the first time in the history of the program. They advance to the second round of the tournament for the second consecutive season. And for the senior Brashay Johnson, she will end her career with 98 wins as a member of this Bearcat team. Quite a season, quite a run for Lander this year, and they'll be back next year. They only lose one senior. It's the all-time leading scorer, but they only lose one senior. Everybody else scheduled to return to Greenwood for what should be a fun year in 2018-19. So for everyone here at the NCAA and here in Jefferson City, Tennessee at Carson-Newman University, I'm Rickson Lane signing off. Carson-Newman, too much for the fourth-seeded Lander Bearcats. 96-85, your final score. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and we'll talk to you down the road.